Hey, creative person. It is approximately 1 week before Christmas, and it's probably exactly a week before Christmas, actually, now that I think about it. If you are celebrating Christmas, and even if you're not, you are probably at the point of finding yourself totally immersed in a holiday chaos, craziness, family stuff. And if not that, yeah, maybe it's dark and gloomy and snowy and you're feeling a little down and this is not a good time of year for you. Or your creativity is awesome, thriving and flourishing, in which case, hooray, go you. I personally have a deadline for Christmas. It seems like this happens every year. This year it's a little more crazy than some, so I'm frantically doing a rewrite for my contract that's due January 4. And I will be fitting in writing all over the Christmas vacation. So whatever holiday you may be engaged in, this is my 5 tips for staying with your creativity, managing your creativity over the holidays. So the very, very first suggestion I have is 5-minute dips can get you a really long way. Yeah, maybe you're not making the forward progress that you would usually be making, or it's a little slower than you would think. But if things are really crazy, it's really busy, even if you can just get into your creative project for just 5 minutes. If you're writing, maybe you're just looking over what you wrote in the last paragraph. Maybe you make a quick note about what you want to do going forward, or maybe you grab 5 minutes to actually write a few words. That keeps your head in the story. Lets your subconscious know that this is still important to you, your work doesn't feel neglected, and it's just a little easier to get back into it after, when things settle down and you get back to your usual schedule. So the 5-minute or 15-minute check-in, you can usually find that amount of time somewhere during a day, no matter how crazy or busy or exciting and awesome it all gets. The next thing I want to suggest is make good use of your family and friends. This whole holiday, hanging out with people, parties, family gatherings, there is so much fodder for creative work here, like years worth. If you don't get along with your family especially, or if you have people who are particularly interesting, we all have a weird relative or two, or maybe we are the weird relative, right? Either way, just being tuned into that and being ready to keep notes. You can take real ones, or you can just keep them in your head and tuck them away for later. But all of those conversations, those emotions, those moments, the person who has a meltdown over making dinner and blows up and gets mad at everybody, or the person who melts down into tears, the fight between people, or the little budding romance, whatever you see going on around you, the drunk person, you name it. You can use this for all kinds of creative endeavors. It can be fuel for artwork later, or for your stories, for characters in the future, or relationships between characters. So you're keeping that creativity alive just by observing everything that's going on around you. And if you happen to be at home by yourself, then you can observe yourself and how you feel. We're having a weird Christmas this year, I have to say. Only one of the kids is probably making it home for Christmas at all, and we'll be having to leave halfway through Christmas Day. So that's a first for us, and the dynamics with just me and the Viking home alone on Christmas evening is going to be a little interesting, I suspect. So, note to myself, I can use that later, I'm really sure, in some sort of story or book that I'm writing. The third one is to make really good use of downtime. So if you're like me and you have a deadline, or you really do feel strongly like you want to keep working on your project over the holidays, consider the early morning. If your people are all people who still sleep in, can you get up a little bit earlier than they do? Drag yourself out of bed, get a cup of coffee, and go and do your work early in the morning or at night after they go to bed. Or the other alternative is usually most families these days, there's movie time, TV time, game time. If there's something like that going on that you maybe don't care all that much about and you can be excused from without feeling like you're neglecting everybody, or even if you do feel that way, it's okay to step away for a little bit and have some time to yourself to pursue your art if that's what you really need to be doing over the vacation. And then here we go. This is my favorite go-to. If things are really bad and you really need time, the bathroom is your best friend. Seriously. When you're in there behind the closed door, mostly nobody wants to ask, hey, what are you doing in there? Most relatives aren't going to knock on the door to check on you. Some may. You can always tell them that you're engaged in serious business, which would be true, right? But they don't have to know that you've snuck in there with a laptop or a notebook or drawing materials or whatever it is that you need to do to have a little bit of art time in the middle of all the crazy. And last but not least, are you ready for this one? It's okay to actually take time off. If you don't have a deadline, you can take a vacation. It might even be good for you. Sometimes our creative work really benefits from having a little bit of time off for engaging in other activities, having fun, doing things that are completely unrelated, and getting refreshed by that. And then when we come back to our creative work, we're much more enthusiastic. We have new ideas. We see things in different ways. So whichever way you roll over this holiday season, whether you're going to be trying to fit stuff in, gathering fuel from the relationship interactions, hiding out in the bathroom, getting your work done early or late, or just taking a break. I'm saying Merry Christmas to you because that's the holiday that I celebrate. And I hope it's awesome and wonderful. And I'll probably be back next week, the day after Christmas, with another little message to let you know how it all went for me. So with that said, this podcast is the property of Authors on the Air Global Radio Network. And this is Creativity Quest with Kerry Schafer. You can look me up on my website at rightattheedge.com. Or you can find me on Facebook. You can friend me as Kerry Schafer. You can find me at Right at the Edge page or my Carrie Ann King page or my Kerry Schafer page. I'm kind of all over the place on Facebook. Or you can shoot me an email, contact@kerryschafer.com. And again, Merry Christmas. Do something creative.